Welcome to Familiar Gary. This is the show where we get to review family cars for the Kenyan market. Now my microphone is currently dead and I am forced to use this tiny audio recorder as a replacement. I hope you enjoy it. Today's episode is sponsored to you by Kahoot. This particular model was facelifted from 2013 to 2016. This car is most ideally for urban driving, but not the best when it comes to rural. And how it comes to be is because of the ground clearance. Typically, you get a ground clearance of about 6 inches on bumps for Kenyan roads. However, with this particular model, you have it coming in at about 4.4 inches. So subject to how you are looking at raising up the suspensions, that's going to depend on you. For those who are looking to upgrade towards this particular model, this is more angled towards those who have at least cash to be able to dispense. That is for both cost of the car, servicing fees and maintenance as well. This particular unit is going for 3.7 million shillings and you can find more information about it down in the description below. If it is sold, you can be able to find other car options that you can be able to choose from. At Kahoot, you have the option of either cars that are already in the market or they can be able to help you source it from Japan or even the UK. Other costs that you should be aware of is maintenance costs at Auto Express ranges from 12,000 for a 5k service to a 10k service that goes for around 30,000 shillings, and that's a full service. Just as a disclaimer, you have to take the car in to be able to be assessed before you get to know exactly how much you're going to be costing. Fuel tank, with the 80-litre fuel tank that you get with this car, you'll be playing at around 10,000 shillings for a full tank. But good thing is you're going to be looking at an average of about 4 litres for every 100 kilometers. That means you have an average consumption that you're playing with. The E220 is 170 horsepower worth of rear-wheel drive with a 2.1-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. The diesel engine comes with an 80-litre fuel tank consuming an average of about 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers. Working on Blue Tech technology, you do get good fuel consumption with low emissions at a good rate of experience for the car. I have done this take so many times, nimeshindwa ya kusema. Most of the interior features I'll be addressing it as I'll be doing the driving test. However, in this particular case, just going to cover a couple of things that will be worth noting. So with the chair adjustments for this particular model, everything is going to be electronic. You've got your neck pro height support on the side, your backrest adjustments, as well as your front to back adjustments for the seat. You get a lumbar support, which is going to be featured. You can move it up, down. You can't see it, but I can feel it. I can feel your face. Anyways, yeah. You can be able to adjust the seating features as well. You have enough headroom on the top as well as knee room between you and the front. When the seat is moved all the way to the front, one thing I noticed is it gets a bit tight. But when you move it all the way to the back, the passenger in the rear has sufficient space, which I'll show you in a moment. There are extra storage spaces at the bottom of both the driver and the passenger. You've got your side storages, nothing there for the bottles and the cups. Everything is central. In terms of the glove compartment storage, it is a key lock storage. There is a document section. You have your big manual and a flare on the side. What's this dial for? It's not doing anything over here. Nakuna kitu hapo. Hold on.
It's the lock.
Hebu turn. Na smell kitu. Nika air freshener of sorts. In terms of how the interior is, you've got a bit of a fake leather that still works well, a bit of a wood grain finish. You have to take care of this, as many people have flagged that sometimes the wood does start coming off. Analog clock for those who are looking for a classy look and feel. On the top, in terms of sunshade, there is a vanity mirror with light on it. A bit of a document clip holder over there. For those who don't get the sunroof, there is nothing for sunglass storage. There are dome lights. You do get dome lights for the passengers. That is underneath the rear view mirror. The passenger also does get a mirror with light, document clip. When driving, looking at the rear view mirror, it is quite clear. It's not really obstructed. You can move the rear seat headrest to make it a bit more easier to be able to see, which makes it great. There is more than enough space over here in the car. I mean, the driver's seat is all the way to the back. I have more than enough legroom, headroom as well. place for me to be able to hold myself. Although the car does not have a reclining option, this is comfort as it is. For the person who is seated in the middle, there is a huge transmission tunnel that they have to deal with, whether you get the rear wheel drive option or the 4MATIC option. The back isn't quite the finest, but I don't have to fight with the people on my sides. Additionally, for the middle seat, you can drop it down to turn it into an armrest. There is a pocket that you can be able to hold on to stuff. You can also open this part and get additional storage inside here for sweets and the rest of the stuff. In this section is a cup holder. Speakers is more than enough galore. You've got a bunch of them in the front, a bunch of them in the back. And if you're also looking for additional storage on the back, as with most sedans, you can be able to put them on the top section over there. Trunk space is 600 liters, and when the seats are folded using these two levers, you get about 1855 liters. Good thing about the boot is you do also get hooks areas where you can be able to tie down your luggages. What I've noticed with the boot when you open it up is Mercedes Benz ingeniously designed this here to be a hook. So when you set it up there, it closes itself. There is no spare tire. Instead, what you do get is a tire repair kit, a tow hook, and the pressure thing over there. I don't know what the pressure thing is called. There is an AdBlue storage that is on that end, a bit of storage on the side, as well as a netting on this end. There is a first aid kit that is stored on that end, and there are several lights to be able to guide you while you're in the boot. Sound recording, Benz interior, camera 1 on, camera 2 on. One of the things that stands out when you get into the Benz, put the seatbelt on, it tightens up, almost as if to hug you, ready to go. Starting up with the car, it's really quiet, not really noisy. But one of the really weird things when you're moving, let's say from a Japanese vehicle to a German vehicle, for starters, is the sticks are not where you are used to them being. You've got the gear stock now, it's not a shifter, it's on the right side. On your left side, you've got your indicator as well as your wiper / sprinkler system on the same stock. There's another stock here on the left that's used for cruise control settings, which is called Distronic for the Benz. You can be able to set up how much distance you want between you and the other car ahead of you. Then when you want to adjust the rack and pinion steering wheel, there is this tiny stock. So when you move it forwards, that's going to be front and back, and then up and down, it's going to be the other stock. Initial experience with the steering wheel when compared with the BMW is this is a lot more smoother and an easier feel to it. You've got your paddle shifters as well on the steering, which is quite great. Now, one of the weirdest things about the Benz, as Brian told me, foot brake, when do you put it?
When you're parking.
When you're parking, okay. And then hand, you pull the hand when you're stopping. Sorry. When you're going, you pull the handbrake. When you're stopping, you push the foot brake.
Yeah.
Can you do the opposite?
No.
Okay. You pull the handbrake when you're about to go, and you step on the foot brake when you're stopping. Okay, so pulling. Here we go. Gear. I forgot the gear. Alright. Here we go. Horn, it's a nice light high pitch tone. The blind spot indicator, when you've stopped, both of them, they are yellow. But now as I'm driving and I've got someone in my blind spot, the indicator is flashing on my window, and also I'm getting a hazard, and I'm also getting a warning on the dashboard. Ease of adjustments when you're driving, the car seat controls on the side of the door, they're intended to make it a smooth and easy feel. For someone who's jumping from, let's say, a Japanese into a German, it may take a bit of a while to adjust, getting to know which button is where. both the front passenger as well as the driver, they have memory seat controls. If your spouse is the one who's taken the car, you've got the controls immediately accessible for you on the side. And if you are taking one of them on learning courses, you can flip it out easily. One of the big things that I do love about the Benz is you don't have the plastic easy to break aircon vents. So that means if you've got your attachments, they won't be breaking the system that easy. Light controls, as with most European cars, it's just a dial that's on the side of the vehicle. On the display, you've got a mixture of past and future. With the central part of the speedometer, you've got a color screen. In some of the earlier models, it was a 3-level display, but for this particular one, it's the whole of it is just full color. In terms of the center console, personally, this is not one of my strongest favorite infotainment systems, but it still does the job well. You've got a color screen. This is probably about 7 inches. You've got an option of your audio, Bluetooth telephone. Video is if you've got a DVD disc playing, you can play from a memory card, a hard drive, music register, flash drive, media interface, or Bluetooth, which all of them work well. You can be able to browse websites also on the display. It doesn't have the SIM card input on it. You have to be running it from your Bluetooth connectivity. One of the weirdest things about how the infotainment systems has been set up is it's not a touch screen, so that won't really be working out, but rather you've got your controls here in the center, turning on the dial. You've got your power on, power off button from the middle. It will be great if all of them they were more or less centralized, and I believe that's one of the things that has been done with the MBUX interface that's in the newer Benz models, with a lot of buttons, as with the Volvo crazy button situation. For your numeral buttons on the left side, on the right side, you get your option to choose on what it is that you need. On top of it, also you've got your car sensor just letting you know in terms of proximity warnings for the back. Sometimes it's a bit annoying and it has to be turned off on the controls, just like that. So that goes off. This particular unit feels like it is one of the base models with a couple of additional features on it. Twin heated seats, which is great. Eco mode for ease of fuel consumption, saving you up quite a lot. And then it is a dual climate zone control. That means I get to choose what temperature I want and my passenger chooses what they want. For the kids who are seated at the back, watajipanga, they deal with whatever's there. One of the issues that has been raised as a flag with this particular model is the sliding door. This one often gets to break once in a while, but it's nothing really major. You've got a place where you can be able to store your key once you get in. A bunch of sweets stored over here as well. 12-volt cigarette lighter for you to charge your stuff as well. Cup holders are big enough for you to put in a medium to a large sized cup. You've got split doors opening up as well for your center console. You can't open one, you have to open both of them. In the back, according to my passenger, storage is not the creme de la creme. For the passenger door, you don't have your storage for cups or bottles if you have them. Instead, what you're going to do is you'll have to sacrifice the middle passenger. Either you drive around with a passenger in the middle, or that's going to convert into an armrest with storage, let's say if you've got documents and stuff, and also 2 cup holders that pop out of it. Reversing on this particular car, you get a proper wide angle view, and also you get guided lines just to see how your approach is.
Overall, I would recommend the 2015 Mercedes Benz E220 for families starting out as a 4-seater. It's great for long distance road trips, urban drives, and if you have a long driveway. It's not ideal for rough roads, tight parking spots, and heavy luggages due to its low ground clearance. If you are interested in purchasing one, visit carhood.app by clicking the link below or download the app for all your car needs. Remember to like and subscribe to the Familia Gari channel for more family car content.
That reminds me. Kitu moja interesting you may find about being here in the driver's seat is E220 iko considered as a limo class. So unaweza imagine limo, the driver ameambiwa weka tu hapo mbele, you do your own thing, alafu mwenye ako nyuma ndio ako na all the features and all of the comforts. For someone being a limo driver for this one, imagine me, I'm actually pretty okay with it. As in, I feel kiti imenishika viproper.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Iko highly comfortable. Hapa chini kuna button ya lumbar support.
Oh yeah, to change the angle of the back.
The angle of the back. Hiyo pia na feel ni kama I'm not sitting on just any regular chair. This actually feels like I'm sitting in a proper Benz.